Boom shakalaka, what August means for Bitcoin, why some are calling for a top, what this means for altcoins, and some crazy predictions for Ethereum, XRP, and Dogecoin. Stay tuned. What's up everyone, Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's video, we're taking a look at what August means for Bitcoin, top predictions, plus alt season around the corner, and where we could be headed for some altcoins like ETH, like XRP, like Doge. Before we get into it, like the video, join us on Twitter with your Crypto Love, and of course subscribe to the OG Bitcoin and Crypto YouTube channel. Also, just be careful. I've noticed there's definitely an uptick in scams right now. I'm not trying to contact you and lead you into some crazy investment scenarios, so please don't be an idiot with your money, but that's clearly for your own protection. I'm not going to reach out to you. So, that being said, the overall thing today, fear and greed at 68. Pretty much sideways for the past month. The overall market down 2% today. Bitcoin getting close to previous all-time highs, 118,000. Ethereum at 4285, XRP 312, BNB 801, Solana 174, Dogecoin 22 cents, Tron 34 cents, and Cardano 77 cents. And Bitcoin, take a look at this. Getting squished in a little wedge, breaking above multi-year resistance, above all relevant trend lines right now. Where could price go? I am pretty optimistic, especially if we can stay above that multi-year trend line. However, this pattern right here, this ascending wedge, oftentimes does go down. Even though, me personally, I think there's no way Bitcoin is near a top, but I've been wrong many, many times before, so this might not be any time different. Now, August for Bitcoin. Historically, August has ended red for Bitcoin more times than any other month of the year. The only time that this doesn't happen is the Augusts during the final year of the cycle, which would be 2013, 2017, and 2021. Well, since those are every 4 years, the next one would be 2025, which is this August. So, could we be seeing good things coming for August for this year? Based on this, we might still see a new all-time high. In September, $11 billion worth of Bitcoin options are set to expire with a heavy concentration of call options at the $140,000 strike price. For August, the dominant strike price sits at $124,000. Oftentimes, that strike price acts as a magnet, drawing price towards that area. So for August, we could roughly see $124,000. Maybe price might drop down to fill a CME gap at $117,000. But $124,000, new all-time high for Bitcoin, it could be in the cards for August. And after that, $140,000 in September. And then you know what comes after that? Rocktober, November, December. Pretty good months historically during bull markets for Bitcoin and for altcoins. Right now, it looks like the market does want higher prices. If we take a look down here, there's a sell-side risk ratio. There's very little interest in selling Bitcoin at $120,000. Pretty much the lowest territory, which is about the same we see with all of these arrows right here. All these times, price went up from there. So more likely price to go up from here than down from here. And even if we take a look at M2, it looks like it's time for Bitcoin to play catch up with M2. But there are some people calling for a market top, some people who, are pretty good at calling things. However, I would argue probably not going to see a top in December of this year. And there's a good reason why. If you watch my video that I made like 10 days ago, 12 days ago, about exactly when Bitcoin will top out, based on the Pi cycle top indicator, it has never been this far apart with a close top coming. As a matter of fact, the closest it's ever been at this level is 6 months out. The longest, 17 months out. On average, 11 months out, which would mean that more than likely, we still may have another year of this bull run to go. But taking a look at this chart, you oftentimes see up in July, August, down in September, and then up towards the market cycle top in Q4, and then a bear market after that. Now, that could happen. We may even have a top without a Pi cycle top. I don't know how that would happen, but it could happen. So crazy things have happened before, and they could happen once again, especially when there's a lot of money, a lot of manipulation, a lot of people who stand to make money, so anything could happen. But I would argue that we would probably not see a cycle top towards the end of this year. Even if we take a look here, Charles Edwards says Bitcoin is a long way from the top based on the classic copper-gold ratio. This is a classic equities risk-on-off metric. We are currently closer to a buy signal than a sell signal. A buy signal is the bottom of this trend right here. A sell signal is the top of this trend. If we take a look, we are much closer to the bottom than to the top, suggesting that, yeah, it may still be an excellent chance to buy Bitcoin. Because take a look. You see this line right here? Same 30-some degrees as these lines right here. It has not yet gone parabolic. I do think we are breaking the historic halving-driven Bitcoin cycles because there's just been consistent buying by larger entities right now. The miners are not the largest entities buying Bitcoin and playing with Bitcoin this cycle. But we have yet to be proven wrong. We'll see how this whole thing turns out. Now, Bitcoin recently finding support on top of this multi-year trend line that I pointed out in the beginning. This could be a clearly bullish signal. If price could stay above there, then yes, maybe this will be the new launching pad for Bitcoin to take off. But most people don't really care about Bitcoin at this point because Bitcoin can only go up like 2, 5, 10x from here. They want altcoins because you can go up 10x, 50x, 100x, 200, 1000x, 50,000. I mean, you can turn $1 into $24 billion pretty much overnight with altcoins. So that's why people are pretty stoked about altcoins right now. Well, it's finally happened once again. Bullish cross in the monthly MACD, total 2 down here. Last time this happened, chart with a lot of similarities, double bottom, cross in the MACD, breaking previous all-time high trend line, same type of thing. Well, that setup led to a crazy alt season, also called get rich season, ahead. Like I said, turn $1 into $24 billion overnight. Well, it could be coming. And guess what? Even Ethereum, with its recent pump, not showing any signs of being close to a top. The MVRV extreme values pointing more room to run, very close to the bottom right here, not even close to a top or an interim top at all for Ethereum, a lot longer to run. Now, the first levels to keep an eye out for, based on these MVRV pricing bands, would be $5,200 and $6,900. Wow. That is where Ethereum could be headed in the short term if things don't go on for longer. XRP right now, based on this multi-year triangle breakout that we saw in November 2024, this puts XRP at a bullish target of $12.60. Holy freaking cow. And then Dogecoin 2. Taking a look, we have a reset from overbought territory. The RSI has dropped below 50. Healthy consolidation pattern. Last time we had an identical cycle where Dogecoin went from 18 cents to roughly 30 cents, almost doubling in price. Could we see the same thing right now? 22 to roughly 35, 40 cents per Doge? Well, we might be on the way because, like it was shown right here, get rich season is just ahead. But that's all for this episode. If you enjoyed it, like the video, check out some of our shorts. And remember, I'm not trying to reach out to you on Twitter or any of those other things, so clearly do your own due diligence with that. It is a good indicator because these scams come out of nowhere when bull season comes. So this means good things are ahead. It's just watch yourself. Don't do anything stupid. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Love you. Peace.
Boom. Shakalaka.
If you don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million a coin and then $10 million a coin, you're already a loser.
From now on, if you don't own Bitcoin, you're a moron.